In the previous two videos, we talked about threat actors. So these are the cyber criminals who, cause damage, breaches, and steal data. In this video, we will talk about threat vectors. So what are threat vectors? These are the means by which attackers use to gain access. So what do they use? Is it a USB key? Is it by Bluetooth? Is it by email? How do they get access to systems? So there are multiple ways in which the threat actors use these vectors to get access into systems. It can be by software, removable devices, straight on the internet. So let's look at the different types. First, you have message-based. Message-based, it can be different types. It can be via email with phishing. So you have phishing emails. Usually there is, a link attached to the email. It's usually a generic email. It's not personalized. It's usually, usually there is money involved. There is a link for you to click, and they kind of make it relatable. You have SMS, we also call smishing, SMS message based. So they'll send you an SMS also with a link or with a scenario where you will have to respond and provide information, and they make it seem urgent. So that's smishing. Take note of the name, SMS smishing. Or you have instant messages. Instant messages, IM. It can be over Yahoo Messenger, it can be over Skype, it can be over all those instant messaging apps, which I'm not very familiar with anymore. You have an image-based threat vector, so they can send you an image and there is data within the image. There can be malware inside an image, hidden in the image. So if you remember in domain one, we talked about steganography. What is steganography? This is hiding an image, this is hiding data within another piece of data. So you can hide, for example, code within an image, and then the code contains, malware, can perform malicious actions against someone's device. So when the user downloads the image, it installs malware, for example. You have file-based. So file-based malicious attachments. Someone will send you a malicious attachment. Usually it's an exe, .exe file that you will download either by email or a different website. And that executable file, .exe, can run and create havoc on your computer. You have voice call, also called voice phishing or vishing. Voice phishing. These are those phone calls where you get called. It's usually a scam likely called, and then they tell you, hey, you've won a $500 reward. Give us your credit card number for us to, send it to your number. But they actually use your credit card information to steal your money. You have removable devices, so USB drives, CDs, that's physical access, CDs, DVDs, hard drives, all those removable devices. This is direct access. They can directly plug in malware into your device. You have vulnerable software. So vulnerable software is usually downloaded or installed into your device, and you have two types: either client-based, which is downloaded on your device, or agentless. Agentless doesn't need software. Client-based is usually installed on the user's device, so you will see something like that. And then it's always better to have a protection measure like a firewall, antivirus software to prevent against vulnerable software. You have unsupported applications. So unsupported applications are those that have reached their end of life, and they are usually a security risk. So they have reached their end of life. They're not. There is no update. So if there is a weakness observed, then you are in danger. Unsecure networks like Wi-Fi. If you have a Wi-Fi that's not safe, that's not protected, or Bluetooth, or different types like a rogue access point, these can lead to additional attacks. For example, in unsecure networks, you have Wi-Fi security. And Wi-Fi security is important because Wi-Fi networks can be used to steal data. So the secure Wi-Fi networks use either WPA2 or WPA3 protocol. So Wi-Fi protected access. Those are secure network protocols. You also have 802.1x. This is a protocol in Wi-Fi that's used to authenticate devices before they are allowed access to a network. So you need to enter a username, password, it's a whole system before you get access to a network. That's 802.1x. Meanwhile, you have some unsecure Wi-Fi protocols that are not in use anymore today because they are easily breached. You have one called WEP, another one called WPS. These are weak Wi-Fi protocols that are not in use anymore. So as a summary, WPA2, WPA3, and 802.1x are good. WEP and WPS are not good. These should be avoided. Also, Bluetooth can be used to break into systems, Bluetooth attacks. So, for example, bluejacking is a type of Bluetooth attack that allows people to send unsolicited messages to mobile devices via Bluetooth. So if you go to an airport, you have malware on your computer, and then you turn on your AirDrop and you send your Bluetooth you send your file to everyone via Bluetooth. Whoever accepts, it will infect their device. That's a bluejacking attack. So some of you, could be cyber criminals. Another attack is a blue snarfing attack. Here you access the data on a device via Bluetooth, so you're able to get inside and access the data within the device. Other types of vectors to get into networks, you have open services. So open services are usually open ports. A port is like an entry point into an application or into a system. So you have open ports. If a port is left open, then, for example, you have Secure Shell. It's a very important network protocol. It allows users to securely and remotely connect to a computer, and it uses a port number of 22. So if on your computer port 22 is open, someone can get inside. But then again, here it's encrypted. Meanwhile, Telnet it's also a protocol that's used to connect remotely to a computer, but here communication is not encrypted. Communication is unsafe. So with this illustration here, maybe it will make more sense. So here you have a Samira who is trying to connect to the computer on the third floor via port 23. And when she's, connecting to the computer on the third floor, anyone in the office can read the username and the password just by connecting to port 23 and looking at the information. Meanwhile, with port 22, with SSH, Secure Shell, what happens in reality is like a digital tunnel is created, and whatever she sends to the computer on the third floor, no one can read the communication because it will be encrypted. So it's important to use secure ports and services and to close the unused ones. And finally, one of the other vectors is default credentials. So default credentials, pre-configured usernames and passwords on routers. Generally, routers come with default usernames, and these are examples of default login usernames and passwords, like admin, root, and a few combinations like that. Generally, network devices like routers and switches come with default usernames and passwords, and people forget to change them. So it's easy to get into them and take a look at the communication. So as a summary, these are some of the threat vectors used by cyber criminals or by threat actors to get into systems. Removable devices, phone calls, files, images, messages like emails or SMS, default credentials, open systems, unsecure networks, unsupported applications, or vulnerable software. We will talk about a few more in the next videos, such as the supply chain vector.
All right, guys, what did you think of this course? You liked it? Great. We're glad you did. You can follow us on all our social media platforms, including YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And don't forget, we also have these awesome Amazon flashcards to help you study. So definitely check out www.cybermook.com to order yours today.